filth, dirt, disgusting, oh, bleh, oh. Model Making Guru is sponsored by emodels.co.uk, your one-stop shop for all your model making needs. emodels.co.uk. Make something awesome. Hey everyone, it's Foxx from modelmaking.guru here. Hello, and welcome to another long-awaited episode of the Warhammer Conquest Hachette Part Work Warhammer Build Series thing, Warhammer Shooting Dudes, Death Guard, Space Marines, Warhammer thing, Shooting Conquest Part Work. Don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, yes, welcome back to the next episode. Now, it's been a while. And this is a very quick episode, and by very quick I don't mean it's going to be short. I mean, I'm filming it quickly. I've got the webcam here and I've got the Yeti desk microphone here because I haven't got time to set up the camera and the lavalier mic for a proper profesh episode. We've got a lot to cover in this episode and I need to get it done. But the main part about this episode today is to explain what's going to be happening with this series because it's going to change bigly. Now, if you remember, the original plan was that I would get the magazines each month. I would basically film a how-to guide, which would quite literally just parrot what the magazine said, so following the magazine painting guide. And then I would put some of the special models to one side and do proper paint jobs on those, like some of the named characters and the vehicles. This isn't going to happen anymore. It's going to change because basically the number of projects I've got in the books. Wow, you can tell I'm kind of doing this quickly. The number of things I've got on the books in the works at the moment has meant I've not been able to even go anywhere near Conquest for months, and I'm basically getting piles and piles of all the stuff arriving each month, and it's piling up in the front room. I'm not even going to have a chance to look at it for a long time, so what's going to happen is this. Going forward, I'm going to scrap that plan completely of filming whatever the magazine says. I kind of realised there's no point me filming doing what the magazine says when you could just as easily read the magazine and do that. It would tell you exactly the same thing. I was pointing out the odd bit here and there, which was fine, but it was basically 3 or 4 days worth of work to do exactly what the magazine was saying with a couple of hints thrown in. And the paint job you're going to get from the magazine is kind of bish. It's not that great anyway. So I was kind of just spending a lot of time doing stuff that you could read in the magazine, and it was completely pointless. So we're going to scrap that altogether. Here's what's going to happen. Going forward, I'm going to be getting the issues each month as normal. I will film little things like this where I say, here's what we get this month. But I'm not going to actually do any proper video filming of the painting at all till we've received everything. 2 main reasons for this. One, as I say, I don't want to waste my time repeating everything and just repeating what's in the magazine. Secondly, I haven't got time because I've got other things I need to get on with. So what's going to happen is the actual building of the models, that's going to be the Warhammer Sunday content going forward for quite a while now. So every weekend I'm going to spend my time assembling all the Warhammer Conquest stuff like these dudes, and all the bits we get. I'll just quietly assemble these on a Saturday and Sunday. But on a Sunday, of course, Warhammer Conquest is my 3-hour live stream, 3 PM at BST/GMT on Sundays. Come and watch. I'll be doing that on the live stream. So all the building will crack on in advance. When we get the last issue, so we've got the last 2 issues and we built the big repulsor tank, that's when I'll then be able to start setting time aside to actually film the painting. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely not bother doing anything with the magazine guide. Forget that, it's terrible. I'm just going to paint them properly, and I'm going to paint everything properly. Now, I'm not going to film, today we're painting this Space Marine, and in the next episode, now we're going to paint this Space Marine. And then the next episode, now we're going to... No, I'm not going to do that because that will get very repetitive. What I'm going to do is once we've got everything, I'm going to break it all down into essential units. So like Space Marines, the commando sniper dudes, the guys on bikes, you've got captains and officers, then you've got vehicles. So all the major units. So like if we've got 30 Space Marines, I'll just film painting one. But obviously you can use that as a guide to painting all of them. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to wait till we've got everything, so probably sometime next year, and then I'll start doing the proper filming. Because then I can spend a week filming how to paint a single figure properly, and you'll get a proper video. And then you'll have eventually a video for each different type of unit in the army, whichever one you choose, and you can get them all painted. So that is my plan. The other reason I want to do that as well is, at the end of this project, it's going to be split. The armies are going to be split up because this project is being financed in part by my very good friend George, one of my patrons, who's helping finance this whole premium subscription to the Conquest part work. So what we're going to do, we've agreed, is when it's finished and all painted, we're going to split it, Death Guard and Imperial. And one of us will have the Imperial army and one of us will have the Death Guard. Now, I don't know which is going where yet. I don't know who wants what. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get everything assembled, get everything ready, and then I'll say to George, right, which one do you want? Do you want the Death Guard or do you want the Spess Marines? And if he wants the Spess Marines, then I'll ask him, what faction do you want me to paint them? He might not want them Ultramarine. Or if I get them, if he has the Death Guard and I have the Space Marines, I really don't want to paint them Ultramarine because boring. I'll paint them something else. So that's what we're going to do. Going forward, I'm just going to spend Saturdays and Sundays working on getting everything assembled. Warhammer Sundays will now feature me building all this. And once I get them all done, then happy times. And then once we've got everything, I'll film the proper video guides. But there'll be no parroting the magazine. Forget that. You can paint them much better than that. Now, it does mean, at the moment, if you're following along with this subscription, you've either got a choice of follow the magazine or don't paint them. If you follow the magazine, that's absolutely fine, but if you want to then paint them the way I'm going to paint them at the end, you'll have to strip them all down again. That could be a pain in the butt, so that's up to you. But I am going to leave it off, and then when everything's finished, I'll get them all properly painted, all of them. So that is the plan. Now, this episode today is going to be a very quick catch-up because I left off previewing 27 to 30, the issues and what you got. I'm now up to issue 58, I think, or something like that. So this episode is a very quick rattle through all the issues we've received and what you get with them, just so you know what's coming. And then the next episode, I'll get next month's pack of 4 and I'll go through that as well. So without further ado and less waffle, let me get issues, I think 31, 32, 33 and 34, and then we'll crack on and we'll go through all of them to all the issues I've got. There's quite a lot to go through, so let's crack on. Okay, so cracking on, as I say, do keep in mind, this is on the webcam, it's going to look a bit crappy. I'm just doing this for speed so I can get you some updates and content as quickly as possible, because it'll be a week's worth of work otherwise. So let's just get on with it. So, starting with issue 31, we don't get any plastic with this one, we just get 2 paints, a restock of Death Guard Green, and we get some Celestra Grey, a base colour. And the magazine is the usual fare, it's just going to give you, well, it's going to fall apart, obviously, but it's going to give you some fluff. Lovely, lovely fluff, some fluff, and then it's going to show you how to use the Celestra Grey on some details on both the Death Guard and the Imperial dudes that you've already done. And then using the nice, lovely brushes that we've got in some previous episodes, or issues I should say, now we've got some decent brushes. It's going to take you through some detailed painting, just how to get all the little bits here and there on the Death Guard painted up, and then the gameplay stuff on the end. That is issue 31. Next up, of course, is issue 32, and this is a return to plastic good times, because with this, we get the Space Marine Apothecary. This figure here, we get 2 little sprues of lovely, lovely, not made in Nottingham, but still very nice, and lots of crisp detail pieces to make this one character. And because it's a character, you do get this little terrain piece for the base, which is weird, because it looks delightful. It's a dead Space Marine, but he's kind of standing on it, and that's kind of a bit harsh. I mean, why would you stand on one of your, brethren, fallen brethren? It's a bit, even for Space Marines, because he's an Ultramarine, and he's an Ultramarine, and it's a bit weird. They're on the same, I'm going to stand on your corpse and go, "Arrgh," with my dangly string thing. Yeah, anyway, moving on. So yes, you get this guy in issue 32. In the magazine, it's the usual stuff, lots of fluff. You get some information about the actual character you're building that you're going to be playing on the tabletop. More fluff, you get a painting guide for the Apothecary. Now keep in mind, like I said, I'm going to do proper painting once we've had all the issues and everything's been assembled. If you want to go ahead and follow this guide, you can do. But then when it comes to maybe later next year and I start painting stuff, if you want him to look super kick-ass and follow my painting guide, you're going to have to strip the paint off. So you can, if you want, go ahead and follow this. The opposite of that is, of course, don't paint him yet, but then you're going to be playing with unpainted miniatures. However, if you do go to your local Games Workshop store and you try to put these on the table and they're like, "Oh, you've not even painted them," just blame it on me. I'll take the pain, blame it on me, make it completely my fault, and tell them that I haven't shown you how to paint it yet. But I say, if you want to go ahead, you can follow this guide, but do keep in mind, if you want to then do what I do later on, you're going to need to strip all the paint off. If you're in the EU or the UK, brown Dettol is a good, cheap and safe way to get paint off miniatures. It takes about 24 hours, strips all the paint off. So it's not hard, but it's when we're going to have, like, I don't know, 100 figures at the end of it, you're going to be stripping paint off all of those. Yeah, that's going to be fun. So it's up to you. You can go ahead and follow this if you want, or you can just get him built, get him assembled, put him to one side, and we'll come back to all the models next year, probably when we do the painting. And again, there's more shade guide there. And then there's the gameplay stuff, and that is issue 32. Next up, of course, is issue 33, and it's time for tubes. Tube time. Yes, it's thermic plasma conduits. If you've ever played with Warhammer terrain before, the terrain you get from Games Workshop, it's always this big, thick, heavy, brown, chocolatey... Oh, chocolate. Oh, I'm having chocolate thoughts now. It's always this brown, chocolatey stuff. And the reason it is because they want it to be heavy and dense so that when you put it on the tabletop, it's not flying around everywhere. It needs to be heavy so it's not easily dislodged and displaced. So this is what you get with issue 33. You get the tubes, lots of fluff. They're not going to give you any information on the tubes because they're just scenery items. So lots of fluff. And then, of course, how to build and paint, or rather, how to... doesn't actually tell you how to build them because I think it's probably fairly obvious. There's no actual building guide. How to paint them. Again, if you want to do this, you can do. You're more than welcome to follow this instruction. They'll probably look all right once they're done anyway, but I'm going to probably take a bit more time painting these. There's lots and lots of intricate details and screens and control panels. Yeah, I'll be having a field day with these. I'll be doing some of the stuff they show in here, but a lot more when I do get around to painting these. So if you want to paint these, you can do. Go ahead. Again, keep in mind, if you paint anything in advance, you might want to strip it back later on when you see me do it, if you want to follow what I do, but it's entirely up to you. But there you go. And then we've got some gameplay stuff, shows you how to use those in your shooty game battle. So that's that one. What's next? Next up we have issue 34, and something weird this way comes, because in this we get 3 more chaos dudes. We get the hang on. We get the I can't say that. Malignant Plague Caster. It's a rat tongue tripper, that one. Malignant Plague Caster, the Noxious Blightbringer, and the Plague Champion. Yes. But the thing about these is, look at the sprue. They're on grey plastic. Now, I could be blanking this, but I'm pretty sure in all the episodes so far, we haven't had any grey plastic sprues. You know, sprues that are anything but just a green and blue plastic that we've had so far. Now, I could have had some of these and just be blanking it because it was months ago, so do tell me in the comments if I'm a complete spoon. But I think, looking at this, the fact is grey plastic, just like you get in the box sets, like the Dark Imperium set, which a lot of these are from, I think this might be actual GW sprues made in Nottingham from girders, you know, not the actual third-party blue and green stuff that's made somewhere else and is crispy and weird. This might actually be a Games Workshop sprue. I could be wrong, I don't know, but it'd be interesting to find out. Just from weight and look and feel, it just seems more Games Workshop-y. So it'll be interesting to find out. If anybody knows, do tell me, because I'm curious to find out. But yes, usual stuff. We get lots of fluff. We get the how to paint guide. There is no how to build guide. And I am wondering if this is it now, because the painting guides are going to be so long and drawn out. I'm wondering if they're just thinking, you know what, you know how to build stuff now, off you go. So I think I'm wondering if for some of the more complex things, they might still have a how to put things together. But I think for figures, I mean, it's not hard to figure that out. There's only 3 dudes. You'll kind of get that. You can use these as reference. It won't be that complicated, but it might be a tripping up step for maybe very young builders. I don't know. So, yeah, but weird. They just said, just build it. Just draw the goddamn hell, you know. So lots of how to paint things. Again, feel free to paint it if you want. But if you want to follow me later on, you'll have to strip it all off again. But that's going to be, let's assume for this, by the time we get to this point, it'll be a couple of years from now. So there you go. And more how to play stuff. Deny the witch. Also deny mathematics, homeopathy in Canada. But deny the witch. Now, I don't deny Canada. I just don't believe in Canada. Before anybody sends me angry comments, it's an old in-joke. I was listening to 2 people in an office talking about something. And I forget now what it was. But there were 2 very, very stupid people. And one of them said something. And I said, oh, I don't believe in whatever it was, and it was something you can't not believe in, like tables or air or gravity. It's like, oh, I don't believe in gravity. And it's like, that's not something you can't believe in. So I was like, you know what, I don't believe in Canada, and I walked off. And they were both like, I think I made my point, but I think they were too stupid to realise I've made my point. But yes, anyway, I love Canada. I love Canada. Anyway, issue 34. That is issue 34. Next up, issue 35. A nice simple one, this one. Just one figure. We've got a Space Marine Chaplain. One sprue. As always, lovely detail. It's that weird plastic again, but it's fantastic stuff. Lots of detail. The Chaplains always wear black, regardless of what your chapter colours are. And please don't tell me you're painting Ultramarines, because they're so boring. Ultramarines. Look up chapters and choose a chapter that's more interesting than Ultramarines. Trust me, you'll thank me in the morning. Yeah, we've got one little delightful sprue, lots of crisp details. Nothing really too much to go on this one. Usual stuff. We've got a description of the Chaplain and his Wargear. We have lots of background fluff again of the Imperium. Now, I do recommend, if you get a chance, if you're interested, I do recommend go online and have a look through the lore of 40k, the universe. Right from, the modern... In fact, the lore itself actually starts from prehistoric times, like our real prehistoric times. It goes right through the present day, right up to the 41st millennium. There's tons of it. It's insane. If you want a good, just day sitting reading interesting background fluff and lore, do go online and search it. It's fantastic, but they give you a little touch of it in some of these magazines, and here you get a little sort of blip of the Age of Apostasy, the Age of Redemption, the Age of the Warhammer Conquests and things like that. So a bit more there. It's fascinating. So go and read it. There's tons, and it's all just ridiculously grimdark. It's fantastic. Then we get the descriptions on how to paint the Primaris Chaplain. Again, no building instructions, but you're not going to struggle with just that. And it looks pretty cool. I can make it look cooler, but if you want to go ahead and paint it, you can do. And then more gameplay stuff at the back. That is issue 35. Issue 36 is next, and this is a paint restock issue. It's gone all blue. One for the dads, it's a bit blue. It's paint restock. We get more McCrag blue if you're painting your dudes as boring Ultramarines, like the magazine tells you. Trust me, really, just go and look up chapters and find one that's nice. Don't paint Ultramarines. We also have some Athonian Camo Shade, which is a beautiful, fantastic green shade paint. It's brilliant for things like, obviously it's designed for shading green, but it's also great for doing things like making rocks look a little bit sort of like they've got algae on them, a little bit green and mossy. Also good for giving like weathering effects and stuff. It's just a really nice green dank shade colour. And also we get some Steel Legion Drab, which is a fantastic base colour for dry brushing earthy tones. If you've got, say, a cloak or a cape and you want to just put a hint of dirt and dust at the bottom, it's a beautiful colour. Just gently dry brush on, you get that ever so slight touch of mud and dirt and dust at the bottom of a cape or around feet on a base. It's brilliant for that. So there you get some Steel Legion Drab, some Athonian Camo Shade, and some McCrag Blue if you're painting them boring Ultramarines. In the magazine, of course, it'll mostly be fluff because there's no things to build. We have Steel Legion Drab, where you're going to paint it onto your dudes. Now, for the Chaos guys, they're going to tell you to do it on the fur, which is a good choice. It's not the colour I would use normally, but these are the colours you've got. If you're just using the colours you get with the magazine, it's not a bad colour. And then we've got some more detail painting for your Death Guards, and it's all Death Guard, so there you go. And there's some other bits to do on there as well. Then we get some Librarius Discipline. Okay, we're talking about Psycho Powers now. That's interesting. More gameplay. That is issue 36. Issue 37 is back with the chocolate scenery time. Yes, you get some more of the Rise of Ruins in this one. You've already had some of these. In my actual real world building of all the stuff, I'm up to the issue where you got your first lot of Rise of Ruins. That's what I need to crack on building this Sunday coming up. So that's how far back I am. We've got some more Rise of Ruins, exactly the same as the last time, so I don't need to go over those too much. We have more fluff, sorcerers, and the Chronicles of Ultramar, if you're into your Ultramarines. Boring! Rise of Ruins, again, although it shows you how to build them this time. This you get instructions how to build. You get like 3 dudes on a sprue, you get no instructions. Really weird. And how to paint, there we go. And especially when they've covered this already in the previous magazine. And more details and recess shading. So not too much to go on this one. Basically a bit more playtime, a bit more stuff, and more heavy chocolate goodness. Issue 38 is the next one, and this we're back to Chaos with a single sprue of the Plague Surgeon. As usual, lots of lovely, gorgeous, crisp detail, nice rips and tears in his cloak. And that cloak there, perfect example of what you can use Steel Legion Drab to weather the bottom of to make it look dusty and dirty. Because don't forget, he's Chaos. He's going to be mingy. So we get some fluff about the Plague Surgeons. Obviously what they do on the battlefield, how you're going to play them. You get finally get some decent information about Emps, about the Emperor, because he's a bit of a lad, is our Emperor. He's trillions of years old. He's not really, but again, go and read the fluff. It's fantastic. And then how to paint guide. Again, you're not getting told how to build him, but it's one dude. I don't think you need to think too much. You'll be fine. Lots of lovely, lovely, finicky detail on him to paint. And then the gameplay stuff. So, oh, look at that big crashy spaceship. Oh, I've had a land. I crashed. I landed a bit hard and I can't get up. Oh, that's issue 38. And one thing I forgot to mention that comes with issue 38 is another big playmat that I can't quite get out on screen. Oh, it's huge. It's apparently, I think it's a landing pad. It's another massive playmat. It's not the kind of big thick card thing you get in the Wargear sets if you're on the premium subscription. It's just the thin flimsy, sort of, well, not that flimsy, but it's the thin flimsy card ones that do as a good temporary playmat. I'm going to guess it's massive because I can't get it all out on screen for you. But yes, it's a nice big playmat. It's just a bit more variation for when you're playing your games while you're still learning. Something else you can put your scenery on. So yes, you get that, as I've marked there with my little sticker, with issue 38. Next up is issues 39 to 42. Now, if I think this is a premium gift, if you're a premium subscriber and you're happy to pay extra for it, or it might be if you're not a premium subscriber but you want to pay extra for it, you get this with these 4 issues. You get this Silver Templars book. Now, I looked at the invoice when I got this, and it said Codex. But I don't know if this is a Codex, because why would they send you a Codex for a chapter you're not actually painting? You're painting Ultramarines. It'd be handy if they sent the Ultramarine Codex, but there you go. But yes, they sent this, the Silver Templars. Now, I don't know much about this. I'd say I'm not a big game player, so as far as I know, they are a successor chapter from Ultramarines, so they are like a spin-off chapter of Ultramarines. So whether they will just play with exactly the same rules as Ultramarines, I don't know. But that notwithstanding, it's a very nice book. It goes through all the information about the Silver Templars, their heraldry, their colour schemes, their history, battles, what they have fought. That was deliberate. Lots of information and lots of lovely reference pictures, if I can find them, for things like people in the chapter, well-known characters, lots of reference materials for colour schemes. You've got little pictures that would act as, where are they all? There you go. Painting guides for some of the vehicles and the dreadnoughts. So it's a really nice book. It smells actually most delightful. But it's a beautiful book. There's lots of artwork and lots of information on the Silver Templars. I'm guessing I don't know. I don't know what rules they would play with. So, but yes, remember I was saying about if you don't want to paint Ultramarines, and trust me, you really want to look at the other chapters because there's a lot more interesting colour schemes than Ultramarines, who are just, they're called Smurfs and they're kind of boring. But yes, that's one chapter. I don't know if we'll get more of these. We might get more successor chapters, books and things, but very interesting. So that's what you get. I don't know if you get it as premium or if you pay extra for it. I don't know. These just turn up and I go, oh God, there's more, and then I panic. So I don't. It's very nice anyway. Next up is issue 39, and with this we get more blue plastic. We get a Primaris Captain. Lovely fella, lovely, lots of things you can paint, lots of lovely details. As usual, crisp production, looks fantastic. I'm missing a sprue. Hang on, there we go, second sprue. Get yourself together, Foxy. There you go, nice flowy cloak. Remember Steel Legion drab on the bottom, nice earth tones. So 2 little sprues for that, and the usual fluff. Ooh, he needs a shave. A little more fluff on the Imperium of Man. It's fascinating. Go and read about it. And then how to paint again. They're not showing you how to build him. It's fairly straightforward, really, let's be honest. How to paint him. And then more gameplay goodness. That is issue 39. Issue 40, it's another paint issue. We get no plastic, but we get 3 new paints. We get Liberator Gold, which is a highlight gold colour. It's for really putting a highlight edge on your gold. It's a weird colour, but it's very nice. We get some Wild Rider Red, which is, again, it's a highlight colour. It's a layer colour, but it's really done for picking out the edges of red things. And then we get some Storm Host Silver, which is a beautiful, shiny silver colour. It's quite bright and bold. So we get those 3 paints. It was not very amusing. I bet he's a riot at parties, he is. We have information, more fluff as always, on Marneus Calgar. We have information on Demon... Oh, look at the face on that. Yeah. I'd see a doctor about that, mate. I really would. Your chin's in your belly, that's not right. And then it's going through painting highlights, which is precisely what these 3 colours are for. Like I said, Liberator Gold for little highlighting your golds, Wild Rider Red for highlighting your reds on your cloaks and your eye lenses, and silver for any metallics. So it goes through quite little details. You can follow the magazine here if you already painted stuff. This is kind of useful information, so you can do this one because it's just painting highlights. That's kind of useful. More gameplay stuff. Space Marine Warlord traits. Death Guard Warlord traits. There you go. Storm the walls and preparing for war. I think by now, I think we're pretty prepared for war because we've kind of been doing war for a while now. So, yeah. Anyway, that is issue 40. Now, issue 41 and issue 42 I'm doing together because it's a double cover episode where... Episode? That's not the right word. Issue. Double cover issue where they cover one build. Yes, the Plague Burst Crawler. Look at that. Now this is where your subscription money starts to pay off for this part work because this is when you get the big boy stuff. You get some awesome kits. Both. I'll go through the magazines quickly, then we'll look at the sprue. This one's going to be build it, and this one's going to be paint it. Usual stuff. Fluff about the thing you're building. The Plague Burst Crawler. Look at that. It's a big stubby little spud, isn't it? Made of disease and ming. Blurb about the Space Wolves. Before I started doing my Unending Forces of the Holy Contrivance, my Xeon-themed army, I was going to do Space Wolves, and I kind of regret I didn't now. I'd like to do some Space Wolves. Space Puppies! Got some highlight painting, strangely, for this one. For your Death Guard. So we've done some Space Marine stuff in the last issue. They're obviously doing the same thing here. They're not going to tell you how to build that Plague Burst Crawler. Okay, well, there you go then. Never mind, moving on. And some gameplay stuff. Is there any gameplay stuff? Oh yeah, a little bit of gameplay stuff. So no actual buildy in that. Issue 42. Carrying on with Fluff, the Eye of Terror, Garden. It's all sticking together. Garden of Nurgle. How delightful. And then how to paint. So they're not going to show you how to build it. That's weird. They're not going to give you a building guide. You have to keep in mind, I haven't read through these in advance. I'm just opening it. As I'm going through these is as I'm seeing them. Okay, so they don't actually tell you how to build that. That's a bit rough. I mean, not telling you how to build a single figure, that's fine. Not telling you how to build an entire vehicle? I mean, it's not going to be hard. It's going to be fairly straightforward. But, wow, that's a bit harsh. That's a bit... Have I missed something here? Have I completely missed the instructions for buildy? I can't have done. Let me just double check. I'm just going to... Nope, there's no building instructions at all. Okay, well, it's not going to be hard. It's fairly straightforward, I hope. It won't be that complicated. You'll figure it out. But yeah, that's a little bit. I don't know. That's a little bit weird, that. But I mean, it's because there are a billion pages of painting things. But wow. There you go then. When it comes to building the Plague Burst Crawler, you're on your own. However, let's be honest, it's a fantastic looking kit. It's not going to be particularly complicated. And I think these are about 30 quid. 25, 30 quid when you buy them in a box on its own. So this is, like I say, where the value of this subscription starts to pay off. You've just paid 16 quid, 2 magazines, and you get that. Probably 25, 30 quid worth of kit, if not more. So yeah, lovely detail. There you go. So yeah, but in terms of building it, go figure it out. Next up is issue 43, and it's time for more tube. Well, not really tubes. It's time for some thermic plasma regulators. Yes, it's more scenery, and look at the chunkiness of that. That's a big chunk, that is. Oh, looks like great fun painting. Oh, look at plasma. Oh, great fun painting that. Also going to have great fun filling in the seam line that goes right down the middle of the plasma bit. Never mind. So that's what they're going to look like in the end. In this one, mostly fluff. Successor chap. Oh, look at that. He's a big lad, isn't he? Beasts of Nurgle. Armies of the Imperium. Help rekindled. Wars on Cadia. And then we have, now get this right. Here's how you build them. We're not going to show you how to build a tank, an entire vehicle, in the last issue, but in this one, we'll show you how to put these things together with like 5 parts. Yeah, thanks for that. But hey, not going to complain. So yes, lots of painting guides. Again, with scenery stuff, you can go ahead and paint it in the magazine if you want. Basically, I'm going to be doing much similar to this, but with a lot extra more detail. So if you go ahead and paint it like it is in the magazine, then when I come to do it, if you want to upgrade the paint job, you can do. You'd be painting lots of extra detail, so you won't have to strip it all down and start again. So I mean, I'll start with a lead belcher coat and then a couple of shades. So there you go. And of course, some gameplay stuff, how to use your thermic plasma regulators. I don't know where that voice came from. Can you tell I've got loads of energy today, because I'm trying to rush through this and get it all done, and I've got loads of energy, and I've drunk lots of coffee, and oh, I need more coffee. Oh, Issue 44 is another paint refill. We have more Lead Belcher. I love that name, Lead Belcher. Yeah, more Lead Belcher paint to refill the one you've already got. I love this colour, it's a brilliant base metallic colour. And of course we now have some Necron Compound, which is a dry paint. I love dry paints. Now, issue 44, Adeptus Mechanicus Fluff. La 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 la, Chronicles of Ultramar. Plague Drones. Flufftacular, lots of fluff. Imperial Fists, another chapter you could choose to build instead of Ultramarines, because Ultramarines are so boring. Then it teaches you how to use a dry paint. Dry paints are exactly what it says on the tin. I won't open it because I want it to last. It's basically 99% pigment and almost no liquid. So they're very, very thick and stodgy. They're designed for dry brushing. You can't paint with them because they're like... It's like you couldn't tip it out because it's like, it's hard to explain. It's mostly just gunk, but they're designed for dry brushing, and they will make, this one in particular will make your metallic colours pop because it's a nice bright silver colour. So yeah, how to use Necron Compound, painting scenery details, and there you go. As I say, with the scenery, you can go ahead and follow the magazine if you want. Scenery is not that important. You don't have to do a massively museum quality paint job on your scenery. It's just scenery. You can do if you want to, but if you want to follow the magazines and just get the basic paint job so you've got something to play along with, you can do. Easy to strip down later. And then of course the gameplay stuff, and that is issue 45. I don't know what that was. Issue 44. Issue 45 is another cracking value one because you get some Space Marine Scouts. You get these 5 dudes here. Now these kits normally go for, this pack, this is like a box set, goes for, I think it's about, I don't know, is it 15 to 20 quid, something like 25 quid maybe, for these 5 Space Marine Scouts. So you're getting this for £7.99. It's a steal, this whole thing. If you've not subscribed to this and you want to get started in Warhammer, or you just want to get some cheap, cheerful Warhammer stuff that's not going to cost you a fortune, this is worth subscribing to, because you're going to pay about 700 quid over the course of 2 years for about £1,000 worth of stuff. My numbers are from memory and pulled out of my ass, so I could be wrong there. But yes, so we get these 5 dudes. Again, lovely, lovely, strange third-party plastic, but it looks great. Lots of detail, lots of... I don't know if you've got any options there. How many got? 1, 2... We've got 1, 2... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You've got 6 heads. Okay, you've got 6 heads and 5 dudes. So you've got an option of 1 extra head. Sometimes you get lots of extra arms and legs and things, so you can mix and match. But I think you've just got a spare head on this one. Possibly. I can't really quite see from that distance. You've got a spare head anyway. So yes, 5 dudes. You get the bases as well. And the other thing is, of course, keep in mind, this could keep you painting for a week. When you get these packs of multiple dudes, this could be a good 4 or 5 days worth of painting fun here, just on one magazine issue. So you get your miles, you get your mileage. Anyway, Space Marine Scouts. These are like, it says the neophytes. These are like the the new guys before they become full Space Marines. So a little bit of fluff on them. How to build. So here you get full instructions here. Only because I do wonder, because these are just existing instructions from existing. If you go and buy this pack in Games Workshop store, you get these exact instructions, so they're just copying and pasting them. I wonder with some of the other stuff where there's no instructions, it's because, I don't know, the instructions for that are as part of something else, and maybe some of the stuff you get with other things and they can't just separate them out. I don't know, I could be just making that up. It just seems weird that you don't get instructions to build the Plague Burst Crawler, but you get for these guys. It's really weird. Anyway, build them. Sorted, lots of awesomeness, and then how to paint them, of course. Nice big long guide there. I will be doing a good paint job on these, rather. I'll be making them look more like that, maybe perhaps, than that, which is bish. There you go. Anyway, yes, issue 45. Issue 46, more value for money time. There we go. We get a whole mess of stuff because we get this big sprue. Big fat sprue, there you go. Lovely. We get some more Death Guard reinforcements, some more Death Guard Plague Marines, and we get a fetid bloat drone. I've seen people pronounce this in various different ways. It's a fetid bloat drone. It's a drone, it's bloated, and it's fetid. Go and look up fetid, it's a marvellous word. Lots of blurb. How to build your Death Guard, because we get instructions for that. It's really weird. I'm going to keep going on about that because it's really weird they don't give you some instructions, especially for these when you built these already. Fetid Bloat Drone, instructimations. That's going to be great fun to paint. I am looking forward to painting the Death Guard properly because filth, dirt, disgusting, Oh, minging. Oh, you can have great fun. It's just going to be... I do weathered builds, if you hadn't noticed, and making filthy, dirty weather. Oh, it's going to be fantastic. Painting them properly. Painting them properly. Lots of painting and shading guides for your Death Guard. There you go. Lots and lots of stuff. You can see it's getting quite intense now in the painting guides. More gameplay stuff. But, of course, the big selling thing here is this big sprue full of lovely, lovely Death Guard, Plague Marines and Fetid Bloat Drone. Yes, I think this again is from the Dark Imperium. It's either Dark Vengeance or Dark Imperium. I forget which is which. So if I do get it wrong, I do apologise. Do call me out in chat if you want. I mean, call me out in chat anyway. Everybody does. But yes, do tell me I'm wrong. But I know it's Dark Vengeance or Dark Imperium, but I forget which is which. But yes, awesome stuff. Lots of just rank bits hanging out and guts and it's going to be great fun painting these guys. Going to have so much messy, messy fun. And many stands, of course. You get all those. So there you go. Issue 46. Next up, we have issues 47 to 50, and there's some awesome stuff coming. But before we get there, what comes if you're a premium subscriber with those magazines? If you're a premium subscriber to the Conquest series, you get your next Wargear set. Let's have a look what's inside this pizza box of happiness. That's not pizza, so not that happy. Well, as with the other Wargear sets, first of all, you get a box in a box. Yeah, I'm not going to get this out because it's too big, but you get a lovely box that you can build, and it's basically a storage box for all your stuff. I wouldn't store your minis in here because they'll rattle around and get trashed, but it's a good place. It all builds up into this nice display box where you can store all your bits and bobs and magazines and stuff like that. So you get that. It's lovely, lovely. A very thick card. I like that. Next up, we get another big playmat. Now, unlike the one you got in the issue, I don't know, issue 40-something, 30-something, this isn't flimsy paper. This is proper hardcore card stock. I think it's the same kind of landing pad industrial area type mat, maybe with a bit more detail. And I can't open it up because it's massive, but it's just going to last you a lot longer than the other paper one. And I do like these. And this will be the third one, so you've got a nice variation of playing mat. So you get that. It's quite hefty and quite large. Of course, you also get, yeah, dices, ices, dices. Yeah, you get some of these. The first ones we've got red and green. These are beautiful yellow colour. I do like these dice. I tell you what, when I get playing games, I'm going to take all of these because they look fantastic. I'll be taking all my colourful dice. We're going to get one more Wargear pack, I think. So we've obviously got red, blue. No, we've got green, blue, yellow. I don't know. Will the last ones be? No, we haven't. We've got red, green. Brain's not working. We've had red. We've had green, I think. We've had some colours anyway. And of course, you've got the gameplay stuff, you've got tokens for your playings, and you've got some more wonderful data cards for both Chaos and Imperium. These are just to save you, if you're playing certain units or all the units that you've made so far, instead of taking a whole codex with you, or lots and lots of the individual pages from the magazines that have got all the data sheets on, you've got these ready and to hand. You can just take the ones you want. Otherwise, you're going to be taking individual pages from the magazines or buying a codex. So why not just use these? And these are all the things you've made so far. Land speeders. This includes the 4 issues you haven't seen yet. You've got stratagems, you've got Primaris Lieutenants, all the good stuff, all on these wonderful, beautiful printed cards that come in this wonderful sleeve that it's a struggle to get them back in. So I've just cut to the next bit. Go on, just cut, just go. Issue 47, yes, vehicle times. We get the Space Marine Land Speeder. That, yes, it's a wonderful little kit. It's great fun. You can spend a week just painting and building this. I built the Land Speeder Storm, which has like 6 dudes in it, but this is the 2-man version. It's a bit smaller, and it's fantastic. This is like 15 to 20 quid worth of kit, and you're paying $7.99 for it. Absolutely fantastic. It's a flyer. It's your first flyer, so you do get some little clear rods and a clear base, which of course I'm going to put texture on. I never quite trust these clear rods. I may do it on a proper piece of wire as well. I'll give up the clear rod, which gives the impression of flying, in favour of stability every time. So when I do my Inceptors, I'll probably not use the clear flying bases that come with them because they tend to snap off, and I'll probably just use a piece of wire and build some scenery around them perhaps. But yeah, you get that and you get this. I'm just going to snip these while I'm here because I need to store these away. So I'm going to snip that there, snip that there, and snip that there. There we go. So that's going to be great fun. Dead simple to build. Let's see if they give you some instructions though, shall we? So you've got some flurb about the Land Speeder. Now, before you start thinking, oh, they've just stolen the name from Star Wars, they have done, but they came up with the most awesome reason to call it the Land Speeder. It's because the guy that discovered the STC, the pattern construct, to make this vehicle was called Land. It's a land. So it's not a land speeder, it's a land speeder. So that's how they... I love that. I love that. No, it's called the Land Speeder because there you go, Arcan Land. He's the guy that discovered the pattern to make it. So it's called a Land Speed. See, that's how they get around the... Yeah. Anyway, lots of fluff and blurb. Heralds of Nurgle. What's with the long face? Oh yes, and you do get instructions on how to build it. There we go. And it is interesting to note, if you're not familiar with Warhammer, you won't know this, but they are just reprinting the original instructions that came with these kits. And it's interesting to note that because this is an old kit, it has the old style instructions where they're really simple and basic, and they're just like 3D renders from the CAD file where they made the kit. So you can tell how old the kit is by the actual instructions. I love the fact they've just got the original instructions. It's so easy to see how old these things are. And then, of course, painting the Land Speeder. Now, I will be honest, I would say don't follow these instructions. Well, you can do, again, if you want to just paint it like in the magazine, you're fine. I'm going to obviously do a much more in-depth paint job, and I'll probably do a lot of sub-assemblies. Like, I won't be painting the dudes when they're in the vehicle. I may not assemble the top of the vehicle until I've painted the interior, things like that. So it's up to you if you want to go ahead and paint it. Again, you'll need to strip it off if you want to paint it like I do afterwards, but it's going to be hard when it's, you know, fully built. So yeah, it's up to you. How you want to do it, that's up to you. And then, of course, gameplay shenanigans. There we go. That is issue 47. That's... If you've ever wanted to watch something die on the vine in front of you, look at my enthusiasm now. Oh, dear. Space Marine motorbike dudes. I don't like these. They're like 1,000 years old. They're not fun to build. They're not fun to paint. And even looking at, given how good the moulding has been so far on all these models, you can tell these are really old moulds that they've just copied, because all the imperfections in the real thing, in the Games Workshop ones, because they're 1,000,000 years old, they're present in here. All the slight rough edges and stuff. I'm not looking forward to that one. So you get 2 motorbikes. God damn it. You get 2 of these. They're really old, they are. Lots of fluff. Dark Imperium, fluff, Deadly Pursuit. Ooh, looks interesting. A bit Borderlands vibe going on there. Space Marine bikes. They just don't go together well. They don't. And you can tell they're old because it's got the old style Space Marine anyway. They're not even Primaris Marines. Yes, I will take the hit for you. I will build these little things because I have to. Not because it is easy, but because it is hard. And I will get these built and do the other things before this decade is out. Yeah, when I get around to filming these, I'm going to bitch about it non-stop. So just be prepared. Yeah, that's issue 48. So drained. Issue 49 is more paints. We have Dawnstone layer paint. We have Ogryn Camo layer paint. And we have Calgar Blue layer paints. Yeah, so you can imagine this episode or this issue is going to be about layering. So we've got some fluff on Land Raiders. You don't get one of those. Sad really, because they are quite nice. Nice cutaway diagram there with Spec Marines in there doing things. Doing Spec Marine things. The Black Crusades. More fluff. More fluff. Edge highlights. Yes, it's going to teach you how to do edge highlighting, which is an optional stage if you want to do it. I'm not a big fan of edge highlighting. It can make things look a billion times better. It's the Games Workshop way of painting things. If you want to go for a realistic look, it's not always the way to go, but it can make things look, even simple paint jobs, look much more fantabulous. So don't necessarily knock edge highlighting, especially for metallics. It's a really good colour, sort of technique to use. But it will certainly bring some life to, if you're following the magazine, bring some life to your paint jobs. Medical emergencies, gameplay stuff. There you go. Issue 49. Going through these really quick. It's hard work this, you know. I'm talking 10 to... Oh. Right. let's crack on. Issue 50, and it's time for some Chaos Cultists. Now, doesn't look like much on them sprues. Yeah, it's that many dudes. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, 10 dudes. 10 Chaos Cultists. That'll give you a good week of painting that. That'll keep you busy for ages. Now, these are like, they're kind of like converts to Chaos, people that follow Chaos, but they've not been turned into like Marines and things like that. Space Marines, Chaos Death Marines, whatever they're called. Death Guard. Can't get my words out. But they are like regular, say, Astra Militarum or just general civilians that have been turned to Chaos. And filth, so we've got some blurb about them there. It's actually got the how to build, which is quite nice. They're not particularly complicated, but at least it gives you some blurb how to build them. And then, of course, how to paint. Lots more flesh tones in here, because a lot of these are just regular dudes. They're not enhanced Space Marines. And then lots of gameplay stuff. So lovely, lovely. That is going to keep you busy for a billion years, because there's a lot to paint there. And I'll have to choose carefully when I do painting videos. I'll have to choose carefully which of these I choose to paint. Because, yeah, they're all kind of varied, so I don't know which one I'll go for. I might do bits of one and bits of the other. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. But there's 10 guys there. They'll keep you busy for ages. Issue 51! It's time for Hemotrope Reactor. It's time to react your hemotropes. Yes, this is surprisingly a lot less parts than I thought it would be, because it's a big bit of scenery, this. It's like dead heavy. And of course, you can tell it's Imperial because skull. It's always with the skull. Always. See, so you get this big, massive, brown chunk of hunk. Weighs 1 billion tons, and it makes said device here. I don't know what a hemotrope is or why you would want to react it, but apparently you do. Fluff about the salamanders, more Dark Imperium. Heretic Astartes. Heretic Space Marines. Heretic Astartes Showcase. We have a hemotrope reactor explaining how to... Are they going to show you how to make it? Bless them, they are. They're going to show you how to assemble these 4 or 5 parts. Not going to show you how to build a tank, but they'll show you how to build this. It kind of, I don't know, it's really weird. And then, of course, the painting guide. Again, as always, if you want to go ahead and paint this, you can do, because it'll probably look pretty good, even if you just follow this guide. For things like scenery, these guides are actually not so bad. So you can go ahead and paint this if you want. I'll probably try and do a bit better of a job of it, though. We'll see. I say that now, I might come out looking like complete garbage. I don't know. So there you go. Issue 51. Issue 52 is another paint refill. It's more texture paint. It's more Astro Granite. I really wish they hadn't given you Astro Granite. I really wish they'd given you a Grelin Earth, because a Grelin Earth looks much more interesting. It's that cracked, dry earth look. Much more interesting than Astro Granite, which is just kind of boring. But yeah, you get a pot of Astro Granite. And in the magazine, we have some more fluff. Tactical squads. We have Iron Hands, another chapter of Space Marines. Some information on Orton Cassius, the Master of Sanctity. Land Raiders, there you go. Death Guard Land Raiders, there you go. They give all this information, but they tease you because you don't get any of these. More fluff, and then they're teaching you about shading and highlighting using shades and dry brushing on bases. But you can apply that to anything. So always good little tips. And then some gameplay stuff here. Stratagems and things to play with. Now imagine having to build and paint all those different crates. I would end up eating my own face. Yeah. Oh. More motorbike. No. Fluff. Fluff. Oh. Motorbikes. Oh. Fluff. Fluff. Horticulus Slimux. I had to read that carefully. Horticulus. I love the name of some of these chaos dudes. Some of these Nurgle dudes. Horticulus Slimux. A dude on the back of a giant evil snail. Oh, fantastic. Oh, Space Marine bike. Oh, look at that. It is a beautiful model, that. You can get that model. It is the Horticulus Slimux. It is a fantastically just bizarre and twisted model. Sort of Nurgle there in that. I love it. Some of the Nurgle stuff is so fantastic. Oh, Space Marine bike. Oh, let's move away from this really quickly. How to paint, how to paint, how to paint. Oh, bikes. Oh, tactics. Oh, just go away. Go away. I was about to start there with, as the next door but one stupid yappy dog starts barking like a tool, and it stopped. So that entire joke died. So, Issue 54. What do we get with this one? We get a little character dude. We get Typhus, the Herald of Nurgle. Yes, the beautiful, stupidly, ridiculously detailed figure. Typhus, the Herald of Nurgle. Lovely little single character kit. So you're only going to get one figure. But look at that. If you won't really see on the webcam again because it's crappy webcam, but it is beautifully done. We get, of course, you can see him there. Look at that. It's going to take you a long time to paint that. You can have some great fun with that. Lots of fluff about Typhus. Oh, look at that. That's a heck of a ship. Terminus Est. Now that is a ship. Because why would you not want a spaceship with teeth? Of course you want teeth on your spaceship. Duh, of course you do. More chaos stuff. Are we going to get how to build? Oh, we're getting how to build. How to build. Am I sounding a bit jaded there? I'm not really. It's just I like taking the mickey. How to build Typhus. I'll show you how to build one guy, but not how to build a tank. And then how to paint. You can see here we're using a lot of paints now, so the painting instructions are getting quite intense. So all the how to paint him, lovely, lovely. If you do follow the magazine, I've got to be honest, if you do follow the magazine, it's not going to be the most brilliantest paint job in the world, but by this point, you'll be doing some good work, and it will, if you've never painted before, it will have taught you a lot about how to paint. But I'll teach you more. And then we've got last bit of how to play stuff in the back. Issue 50. I'm really tired now. I've been filming this for about 2 hours. I've got to tell you, I've been filming it for about 2 hours, and I'm kind of rushing through as quick as I can because I need to get this video up. I'm on a bit of a deadline, and when you sit and talk at a microphone for 2 hours, it gets quite tiring. My voice is going. I might be on the E-Model show tonight, a bit hoarse like this. Oh, I've got a sore throat now. Issue 54. Now we're on to the last 4 issues that I've received so far now. Thankfully. Issue 55. Tubes! More tubes! Yes, it's more scenery pieces that weigh a ton. We're making some alchemite pipes. I don't know what alchemite is. I don't know why you'd need pipes for it. But look at that detail. It's just beautiful. Again, this, if you follow the magazine to paint this, it'll probably look brilliant, but I'm going to take a lot more time, put a lot more effort into painting with the little details. I think I might. We'll see how it goes. Terrain, you often don't put all your effort into terrain. You put all your effort into the figures and the miniatures on the table. The terrain is kind of, you don't want to overshadow the beautiful paintwork you put on the minis with the terrain because they'll get lost. So it's kind of balancing act. So we get that. We have information about orcs who you will not play in this part work. Orcs showcase. You won't play orcs in the part work, but they are great. The only thing with orcs is, if you want to get into orcs, it's kind of good fun, but there's a lot of stuff about orcs that there's just not kits for. A lot of it, like the things you'll see in exhibitions and that Games Workshop have created, is all kit bash stuff. And a lot of the models for orcs are really old, so they do need a help. I mean, there's a lot of new stuff, like, you know, these are new vehicles, but there's a lot of stuff that's kind of old now, and it does need a revamp for orcs. They're one of like most fun factions in Warhammer. They are ridiculous. They're like football hooligans, basically. But a lot of the models are really old and kind of out of date now, so they really need a bit of a kick up the backside and updating. More successor chapters, more fluff about chaos, alchemite pipes, how to build them, because obviously they're far more complex than a tank. I'm just going to keep saying that. I'll stop saying it now. And then how to paint them, obviously. And again, like I say, you can follow the magazine if you want. You can do all different colour schemes. I've not decided what colour scheme I'm going to do for this stuff yet, because we've got other things to paint, like the cranes and things. And I might want a particular design for those. So we'll see. We'll see. But yes, there you go. That's how to make the tubes. Tubes. Next up is issue 56, and it's time for lots of dudes, because it's reinforcements time. Yes, it's time to reinforce your Space Marines with more Space Marines. Yes, now I don't know if these are all the same ones that we've made before, with a couple of extras, or if they're like, you know, duplicate mouldings, or if the same figures we've already done, or if they're all different ones. But it's more Space Marines. You're going to have fun. Again, I haven't decided what colour I'm going to paint them until I know whether I'm doing the Space Marines or whether George is having the Space Marines. And if he's having them, he can choose a faction. If I'm having them, I'll choose a faction. They will not be Ultramarines. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. In this house, we obey the laws of thermodynamics, and we do not paint Ultramarines. No, 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 no. Issue 57 is more paints. We have Temple Guard blue, and we have Thousand Suns blue. Beautiful blue colours, often used for things like plasma effects and stuff, because they're bright and nice and blue. Let's have a look and see. And also edge highlighting for Ultramarines. Ultramarines. Fluff about the Raven Guard. More fluff about Stern Guard veterans. The Kugath Plague Father. Tzeentch is another one of the... We've been making Death Guard, which is associated with Nurgle. Tzeentch is another one of the Chaos Gods. You don't play... You're not going to get any Tzeentch stuff in here. This is all Nurgle based for Death Guard. But yeah, it's another one of the Chaos factions. Beautiful model. More stuff. There you go. See, plasma effects. As I said with my mouth just now, these are often used for glowing blue effects. So you can actually follow the instructions in this if you want, because they will give you quite a good looking plasma effect just using those two paints and follow the instructions in here. So if you want to, you can follow the guide in the magazine. It kind of works. There are different ways of doing it that'll give you even better effects, sometimes also airbrushing on big things like this, but you'll get absolutely fantastic effects if you just follow the magazine. So do feel free, because that's the kind of effect you're trying to go for, but it's not really that effect, but you know, you get the effect. And then gameplay stuff. Anyway, that's issue... I'm really tired now. That's issue 57. One left to go. Oh no. More motorbike. Oh, it's a motorbike. I know. It's the attack bike this time. It's the motorbike with a really chonky sidecar stuck on the side. It's not even a sidecar. It's just a flat plate of... I don't know. Listen, the guys that designed these things back in the day, and whenever this was originally produced, weren't as imaginative as they are nowadays. 2004, there you go. It's 150 years old, this. I mean, it's not that bad. You'll find out when you make it for yourself. It's not that bad. It's just everything's a bit rubbish. The panel lines are a bit flumpy. You can't... it's just not fun to correct when you fill in all the seams and rescribe all the little bits of panel line you've had to sand away. It's just not... It's not... I don't... Anyway, let's just move on. So yes, we get that. We also get this month, or in this issue, as I say, another floppy playmat. This is some sort of snowy, dusty scenario. Quite pleasant looking. I suspect when you get the next Wargear pack, if you're a premium subscriber to the Partwork, you'll get this in big, hard, thick card format, which should look rather fantabulous. But yes, you get that, so that's as well. And in the magazine, motorbike nonsense. This is the Thunderhawk. This ship is a Thunderhawk. It's about 1 billion feet long. You can buy this and play it on the tabletop. However, you have to get it from Forge Wheel, which is the part of Games Workshop that does models in resin, and it's £475. And then when you build it, you will just die, because you have to be a super top-notch builder to make some of this stuff. Yeah, I couldn't build that. It's resin. It requires a lot of reinforcing and putting a frame. It's beautiful, but I wouldn't want to even begin to build one of those. Fluff on the Tau Empire, who used to be called just the Tau Empire, but now they're the Tau Empire because they had to put an apostrophe in there to make it copyrightable. That's why the Imperial Guard, many years ago, used to be called the Imperial Guard. They got changed to the Astra Militarum because Games Workshop wanted to be able to enforce copyright, and they couldn't enforce copyright on Imperial Guard. Well, Astra Militarum, a completely made-up name, they can copyright that. And Tau, they can copyright that. They can do people for trying to use it, but if it's just TAU, they can't copyright the word Tau because that's used for a lot of different things. So there you go. Tau. I often take the mickey out of that. But yes, this is another faction that you're not getting as this Partwork. It's Imperial versus Chaos here, but this is not a Chaos faction. This is another race species that lives in the galaxy with humans and with Chaos and with all the other Snorks and stuff. And they're like a new young spacefaring species. They're quite interesting to read about. So do look them up. Lots of information here on the Tau or the Tau. Then we have also the Tau. Should be said, the Tau do actually have the honour of having the largest Forge World resin kit of all Games Workshop stuff. They have the Manta, which is this massive troop carrier, and it's like the size of a house, and it's resin. It costs £1 billion plus your spleen. Nonsense building. I mean, look at that. I mean, how old are those instructions? Looks like IKEA instructions. These were drawn like about 1,000 years ago, drawn by scribes. And how to paint it. And then, of course, some more tactics for your vehicular assault type vehicles. So there you go. So that is now all the issues. That's me up to date. This is as far as I've got. These are all the issues I have received. I now need to take a big, massive swig of my coffee. which is very cold because I've been doing this for about 2.5 hours. Yes, I'm now up to date. Again, I apologise for the quality of the images. It's on a webcam and through my other mic because I just wanted to get this filmed. You can see there, it's 5 o'clock now. I've got a lot of other stuff I need to do, so I needed to get this done so I can get this out to you. So it's a bit rushed, hence I've just gabbled on at top speed and gone, there you go, lots of things. So I do apologise. As time goes forward, like I said, I'm not going to be painting these at all till I've received every issue. As time goes forward, I'll post up little quick 2-minute or 1-minute videos as I receive each pack of 4 magazines each month, just to say this is what we've got this month. And then on Warhammer Sundays, I will be working my way through all the plastic we've received from all these kits. So this Sunday I was working on some dudes. Next Sunday I've got the first set of Rise of Ruins that I need to build, and possibly the next one after that, whatever that might be. I'm working my way through slowly, so Saturdays and Sundays now going forward are my Warhammer Conquest time. Monday to Friday is everything else. Saturday, Sunday is Warhammer Conquest time. So expect that to be the Warhammer Sunday content going forward for a while until we've finished this. If I catch up, then I'll do something else. But until we've received everything, I'm not doing any painting, so stay tuned for that. But thank you very much for watching. I don't normally film on the webcam, and I shout at people when they do film on webcam, so apologies. Yeah, when I do the normal, here's this month's 4 issues, I'll just do it properly with the proper microphone and the camera. So this is just a rush to get it out to you job. Anyway, that's going to do me. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you in 4 hours for the eModels live stream. You're probably not watching this. I won't have posted this up in like the next hour, but I shall see you later on tonight, probably for the eModels live stream. Until then, take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. Not like this. It's not awesome. Go make something awesome. Anything else is awesome. This bikes, no, just, don't ever walk into a store and buy this kit. Oh, no. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome. And until next time, adios, amoebas.